I already see a sneaky goober in the chat. Is there a Sprighton? Oh, they were there earlier. Oh, well, hello there. Hello there. Hello! To the first stream of 2026. Hello, welcome to the Crystal Library. If this is your first time, I'll tell you about it later. Because right now we have to do knowledge time. We gotta do this. Before I say anything about what we do here, you kind of already have a hint, but we're gonna do muscles for the first time, and this year we might actually finish the human body. I think, maybe, we'll see. But before anything, howdy do. My name is Kiana, aka Crystal K. I do a lot more than just anatomy, but for starters, we're gonna start this video because this is basically customary. We gotta watch the video of what we're learning before we actually learn it. So anyway, we're all about knowledge here. We're all about anatomy at the moment, but coming soon, hopefully many, many more things. So let's get started. Proko, take it away, my friend. Oops, sorry. My Bluetooth isn't on. Sorry. I thought I was connected. I am not. One more time. Let me try that again. So sorry. Let me in. There we go. Alright, so you don't have any microphone interference. Here we go. Try that again. Plus, I'm eating lunch. So. Oh god. I'll be quiet. Enjoy the
Hey,
Pecs.
you're watching Proko. My name is Stan Prokopenko. As you might have guessed from that disturbing intro, this episode is about the pectoralis major muscle. Even though male and female chests look different, both have the same muscles. On a female, the pectoralis major is still visible under the breast tissue. What and where? The pectoralis major is like a really flat box tucked into the corner of the clavicle and sternum that converges toward the humerus. Its shape is simple, but gets a little tricky because the muscle fibers overlap in a folding fan pattern. Let's start with the basics. The pecs originate from the medial half of the clavicle's front plane, the entire length of the sternum, and the top of the external obliques aponeurosis. The pectoralis inserts onto the humerus at the bicipital groove, which is a deep oblique groove across the upper third of the humerus. The pectoralis major doesn't insert onto one small point. It attaches with a tendon that's as wide as your wrist. The anterior deltoid head passes over the insertion and covers the tendon. The pectoralis major has not one, but 4 functions, all pertaining to shoulder movement. The pec pulls the arm forward, like for a high five. Interestingly, the pec also helps to lower the arm. It can also adduct the arm sideways toward the body, like a slap, and rotate the arm medially, like for arm wrestling. That's right, arm wrestling involves your chest. But how can the pecs do so many different things? The answer is in the anatomical structure. The pectoralis major is structured like a folding fan. The muscle bundles radiate out from the armpit. They actually cross over each other where the pecs lift off the rib cage. This twisting means that the lowest bundles on the chest insert the highest on the humerus, and vice versa. There are 3 key sections. The clavicular portion originates, unsurprisingly, on the clavicle. It's a narrow triangle that angles downward to the insertion. It's also the thickest portion, and it can obscure the front plane of the clavicle. This is why you usually just see the top plane of the clavicle on a muscular body type.
Oh my god, what a beautiful
On a leaner
specimen.
person, the muscle is thin enough that you do see the front plane of the clavicle.
I always forget this part.
The pec is separated from its clavicular neighbor, the deltoid, by the infraclavicular fascia.
Huh?
That's a fancy word for the little triangular groove between the 2 muscles. On the surface, the clavicular portion appears to stretch the farthest to the arm. You'll see it rolling over the other sections just before it disappears under the deltoid. The other 2 portions of the pec go under this clavicular portion. The sternal portion is the largest of the three. It's also very thin, and you can sometimes see the ribs through it. You can distinguish the ribs from the pecs by their consistent horizontal angle. Pectoralis bundles are more oblique and their angles radiate. Be aware of how the two pecs share the sternum. In the top half, the sternal bundles originate very close to each other, sometimes with no visible distance. On the lower half, the pecs insert closer to the edge of the sternum, so there's a triangular depression there.
Right, I remember
But
that.
this also varies. The gap between the pecs can be wild and crazy like a Reuben vase, or it can be a straight line down with a narrow gap. You pick which fits your character and picture better.
Okie dokie.
Lastly is the abdominal portion. This is the deepest and smallest layer of the pecs,
The hardest
pointing
part to
up
find.
laterally to the insertion. It originates from the aponeurosis of the external oblique along the level of the fifth rib. Remember from the last lesson that an aponeurosis is a large, thin tendon. The aponeurosis of the external oblique covers the rectus abdominis, and the abdominal portion of the pec attaches to the very top of it. On some people, this section is very distinct and clearly lower than the other two sections. And on other people,
Whoa!
it's totally buried.
Is that Arnold
Genetics.
Schwarzenegger? I don't know.
And much like the cherry on top of the proverbial ice cream,
Bradley.
the nipple is the last thing to go on your man-chest sundae.
Delicious.
The nipple is not a consistent landmark, since fat can sag the skin and move the whole nipple lower. But there's somewhere around one head measurement down from the chin.
Be right back.
If you draw a 45-degree angle out from the pit of the neck, it'll line up with the nipple and the edge of the serratus muscle. In the next video, we'll take a look at how you can use all of this information to construct the forms of the pecs in your drawings. Variations. There are variations to the chest depending on the physique of the person, such as lean, average, muscular, and heavy. To learn more about these variations, head on over to proko.com/anatomy.
Pause.
The premium section has longer lessons,
I said
3D
pause.
models, and a
Okay, I'm so sorry. I pressed play on the wrong thing. Music started playing. I'm a perfect streamer. We're gonna go into the next episode as well because I believe there is, yes, how to construct the form. Super fast because my ADHD bounces around. I just gotta say this. Can we give a props to Proko for drawing the same body 4 times? Accurately in the same exact portion size. Proportion-wise. This man is amazing. I will comment on it when we get there. But for now, let's go ahead straight into the next episode because he's mostly talking about plugs here, which you can totally watch yourself. Oh, but we should see what the assignment is. Hang on, I'm sorry, Proko. I didn't mean to cut you off. Real quick.
/anatomy. Assignment.
What are we doing today?
Your homework is a 2-parter. For
It's
part
actually
1,
3-parter.
do
You'll
a
see.
tracing over a model photo of the pectoralis major and all of its bundles.
Mm-hmm.
If
We're
you're
doing
not
that right
sure
now.
how to do a tracing, refer back to the How to Do an Anatomy Tracing lesson.
Okay.
For part 2 of the assignment, invent the pectoralis major on top of photos of scalene.
We'll do that next week.
I've provided reference photos for part 1 and 2 in the link below. Download those and start drawing.
Okay.
If you have the Skelly app, you can create your own poses and draw the pecs on top.
It's like $2, I
Post
think.
your work in
great.
our anatomy group at proko.com/groups.
Not sponsored.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Do the chest bump worthy thing and share this video with your friends. Give me a thumbs up and comment below. And if you're looking for the Proko news, look no further than the Proko newsletter.
It's covered up. Okay, I'm skipping ahead. Look at all these outdated logos. Oh, it's such a good time. Alrighty. Moving on, and then I promise I'll talk about more things. I just needed to get ready first, and Proko is giving me time. I was almost ready, and now Proko gave me time to be ready. Alright, here we go. One more video. Should be short. Yeah. Oh, God. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. That's the name of the model, I think. I was like, yeah, do that. Alright, I'll be quiet.
Hello, my name is Stan Prokopenko. Welcome to another episode of Proko. In the last video, we learned about the anatomical structure of the pecs. Now let's take a look at how you can apply all this information to to construct the forms of the pecs in your drawings. The pecs make a flat front plane that faces slightly upwards. The bottom plane starts at or just below the nipple. The depth of this bottom plane determines how thick the muscle is. Alright, let's do a drawing of the pecs. I'll start with a light lay-in of the skeleton to help me place the muscles on top. Let's start with the clavicular portion. It originates from the clavicle and stretches the farthest of the three portions until it's covered by the deltoid. Then the sternal portion. From the entire length of the sternum, it converges toward the armpit and dips under the clavicular portion.
Goals for nice soft
The
lines
lateral
like
border
Proko.
curves up toward the arm. There might even be a double curve when the arm is abducted away from the body because of how the sternal and abdominal sections overlap and attach to the tendon.
No one needs to hear me
As you
chewing.
can see here. When the arm raises, the muscle mass keeps its thickness near the armpit.
I want to learn
where
how
it
to do
attaches
that.
to the tendon. More of the stretching happens here, closer to the sternum. The tendon from the sternal section can extend an inch or two from the armpit, and when a muscular figure flexes, it often creates a dimple, as the muscle fibers take a sharp turn inward.
Oh my god!
The lower border of the pecs lines up with the bottom of the sternum. According to Loomis, the nipples are roughly one head measurement down from the chin, so the bottom of the pecs are just below that. It's straight and horizontal, maybe leaning a bit down laterally. When drawing a torso that's tilted toward you or away from you, this lower border acts as a natural cross-contour line. Use it to show the round form of the rib cage. In male figures, there's a crescent-shaped fat pad on the lower outer corner that contributes to its boxiness. Man boobs are simply a result of that crescent-shaped fat pad gaining more and more mass and running over into the rib cage. When the arm is raised, the lower mass of the pec thins, and the lower border becomes harder to distinguish.
So satisfying.
You might see ribs you couldn't see before.
Oh.
Variations.
You alright?
There are variations to the chest depending on the physique of the person, such as lean, average, muscular, and heavy. To learn more about these variations, head on over to proko.com/anatomy. The premium section has longer lessons, 3D models, and additional demonstrations.
I can vouch for that.
Just saying.
It's great.
It's proko.com/anatomy.
It's pretty good in there.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Do the chest bump worthy thing and share this video with your friends.
All
Give me
right,
a
we
thumbs
just saw
up
this.
and comment below.
Yay! I liked it. Yay! Okay. One more bite. Sorry. One moment. Cool. Okay. Get out of here, Proko! Appreciate you, but get your mug off my screen. Alright. Oh my gosh, boy howdy. Sorry. Let's say I intended for all of this to be completely messy. The start of 2026, we're here. First stream back, and as unprofessional as possible. This is the lowest we can go for a Crystal Library stream, so I'm so here for it. Okay, let me finish chewing. We got pancakey and 2 eggies for a breaky. I'm having lunch. Breakfast for lunch. Brunch. One moment. I hope you just drank some water as well. Okay. Mali City, chill me out. Alrighty, here we go. First of all, hello and welcome to the Crystal Library, my friends. Hey, Von Brew, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. You're just in time. I literally just started. Just right now. I mean, we watched a Proko, but we're actually starting now. Excuse me. So we're here for the good stuff. Holy God, that was so disgusting. I'm so sorry, I'm a human. Basically, my name is Kiana, and every single thing I ever learn on this channel will be, hopefully, transparent as much as possible. I learn a lot of stuff. I learn anatomy right now. We're learning an animal anatomy, which we will hopefully finish by the end of this year as we go back through it. Essentially, Proko's course, I've already taken it. I took the premium course, and I'm revisiting a lot of this stuff after 5 years of learning this course because I forgot all of it. And this is a much needed review for me and hopefully for you guys if you're joining me on this journey. I make it as easy as possible for us to learn anatomy because it's really tough. So anyway, I'm your study buddy to recap all of this stuff about anatomy to make it as easy as possible with course notes, 3D models, and all of that stuff, which you have access to in the Patreon if you want by typing !Patreon and all that stuff. There's also a Discord. There's also some stuff that if you want, you can go look it up, but I don't want to plug too much because boring. Point is, excuse me, we're here for Pecs. I don't have those. Well, no, yes I do. They're just hidden. Hidden by tits. I'm a woman, okay? Cisgender, hello. Welcome. This is completely off-brand, unfiltered lizard brain Crystal reporting it. Nothing professional about me. So, anyway, let's really quickly, before we do anything, jump over here. Because every single week when we go through these lessons, I essentially want to make things as easy as possible for you. So you have full control of what I do, what I visit through. So here's the link to the current poll of stuff that we could be doing today. You have complete control and tell me, which of these men would you like to start with? Because what we're doing today is basically part 1 of the homework assignment Proko gave us, which is tracings. We're going to do, hopefully, the first pick and the runner-up. I kind of had a busy week, so I didn't have time to post the poll until right now. So go ahead and post your thoughts really quick if you want to influence my decision or sway me in any way, because I'm going to pick something if no one else does. But if you would like me to focus on something, you tell me. But I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that. The poll is up, and let me know which part of this man's chest you would like me to draw. So numero 2, real quick, I guess before we do anything else, I should mention there is also anatomy notes that I have taken excess notes on. Basically, I've transcribed all of Proko's notes, and you have just as much access to them as I do, again, in the Patreon. But at least once per stream, I will share them. So if you want to have access to these notes beyond the links in the stream, you have to come into the Patreon, which again, you can get by typing !Patreon and all that good stuff. So these will be available to you, but I will not show you them. You have to go get them. So essentially every single time I learn something, I'm going to add to the list. We've already covered basically the skeleton all the way through, and we're now about to hit pecs for males and women. Sorry, my ADHD is going to make me go all over the grid because I cannot focus. Once I get drawing, we'll be here for a little bit more of a good time probably, but just thought you should know. And then I guess while we're waiting, we can take a quick look through of what I've already learned, because again, this is my second attempt at this part of the course. In fact, even more specifically, third attempt, because I will show you. This is not my first rodeo. The first one was much messier, in fact. Let me see. Can I show it? I sure can. Okay, here we go. So, going in order, these are basically... I went through Proko's course once, and then I watched the critique, and then I refined things later. So first attempt, I thought it was a little lower. Second attempt tightened things up a little bit more. I guess the main thing that's important to know is if you got anything from that, there's a big old twist that happens in here, and there's a very big obvious split. Bone Brew, what'd you say? When will I go from practice to focusing on my own thing? Well, this is basically where practice lives. Own thing is on the other channel, which you can find upstairs, which thank you for asking. The Crystal Library is where all of my knowledge lives. My main thing, though, at the moment, if you just don't mind me saying real quick, I love Deltarune. I really like that game. It's made by a dog. Toby Fox has kind of captured my whole life. I won't rant about it long, but I do nothing but fan art over there, which my finished works, all of this homework is leading up to that. And I gotta say, I'm real proud of what I've made so far. Basically, all I do is teach you art. I'm learning art here, and then all of the stuff that I've learned, I teach you over there. So I just started a tutorial series basically walking you through all of my process as a digital artist, making a painting from start to finish, going through composition, dynamic posing, line art, and color and shading and lighting. And if anybody cares about that stuff here, I'll show you, I guess. But I'll give you a real quick sneak peek because I just have been working on nothing but it for the last 2 weeks, and I'm going back to work after today, so I won't have time probably to work on it for a while. So I guess real quick while I ramble, because it's what I do, hang on a moment. Thank you though for being here, and if, again, the poll is still up. Let me know if you want to focus on anything, or I will ask questions or anything like that. Sorry. I'm all over the place. So real quick, I should mention, there is a contest that I'm hosting right now, for my other channel, my main channel, where essentially Deltarune, Fanart, Speedpaints, and tutorials live. Right now, you can go and download my line art and color it in if you want, just for fun, just for giggles, because why not? There is a reward for those that enter. If you want to enter, you have to go to my main channel over there and all that stuff. But basically, I did a Chris and a Susie and a Raul say, and I'm real proud of them so far. So I'll leave it there. Basically, this is what all that hard work is for. So we do the hard stuff in here so we can have fun over there. Yeah, so there's a lot more that I can show you. There's a Raul say, he's real sad. He's permanently going to forever be sad. And there's also a Chris that I'm really happy with. Really happy with, actually. First time drawing hair this wild. It was fun. So anyway, I won't bore you with all of that. If you want to go find it, you can go find it. But basically, this is where knowledge lives. This is where the hard, ugly, grunt work stuff lives. Evidence of our hard work lives over there on the other channel where we just have fun. So anyway, I'm going to check back on the poll now. And if no one votes, I'm going to pick for my top 2. Let's refresh it. And I'm pretty sure probably no votes yet. That's okay. I'm gonna go for, let's see. This guy was on the thumbnail. We could do that one. And then I think this one's much easier. You can kind of see the differentiation of the 3 portions. These are a little bit harder. So I'm gonna leave it up to you what I do next, I guess. But my top vote is this guy. He's got a nice arm, and it works for the thumbnail too. So again, if you want access to this, you gotta go to the Crystal Library Streams channel, and yeah, and then we can talk about it. So other than that, I've done nothing but yak. I'm so sorry. It's usually much quieter here, but I gotta give the lowdown at least for the first 5 to 10 minutes. My elevator pitch should be less than 2 minutes, sorry, but it's been a while. I took a 3-week break for Christmas and stuff. And I want to finish Breaky, so I'll be ready in just a second. But today won't be too crazy. We're gonna mostly do probably 1 or 2 tracings today. So anyway, if there's no other questions to be had beyond that, I think we'll go for, what is it, first guy that we looked at? Because I want to review it. And then if you guys decide to change my mind, we'll pick the next one. But let's go find him real quick. Which one was that? Is it you? That's the Jester. He's constipated. No? Ah, there we go. But what else we got? There's that one. Yep. And then this gentleman, which I didn't list, but it's more of a generic one. It's very important to still know that the pec raises with the arm. So that's the only one I didn't show you because I can only show you 4. Sorry, YouTube limits me. But I should also add, again, I am doing this homework as a review. If you are doing this for the first time, of course, if you want to grow, I would always recommend do all of the things. Go to Proko's website, download these images yourself, and do as much as you can on your own. And then basically after all of that hard work, we can come in here and talk about it if you have questions and all that stuff. That's the whole point of the Discord. If you want to ask me questions outside of stream or have me answer them in the stream, that's what the Discord is for. So again, Discord for questions or feedback if you want. All right. So with all of that said, let's get started with this gentleman. I only have the old one to reference. Well, no, I have both. Hang on. Let's look at both. Put them all together. Pass, yes. And then one more for Proko Revisited. Cool. All right. That was so much talking. I'm so tired. So here's the basic picture that we're working with. This is what we started with. He's fabulous. Can you still see everything when I hide it, though? That is the question. So, zooming in a little bit, very obvious without seeing my hints to tell you, where does the Pecs start? It's not this. That's not Pec. That's serratus. I think. I always forget these little digits. This is serratus? Yes. And then the interlockings of this is oblique. Goals, my guy! Goals! This man is a beautiful specimen. Good lord, he even shaved for this picture. Damn. And where does the cutoff happen from Pec to Delt? Because this man is so buff, you can't see his clavicle.
It's 3:30 p.m. Let's go grab a glass of water. And why don't you go wash your hands?
No. I will never turn that off because it's so funny. Every time it jump scares me. One more bite. One more bite of egg. All right. Okay. Today should be a shorter stream because tracings are a little bit easier. Don't have to invent the gesture from beginning to end. You can just copy what you see. But you also need to have the X-ray vision to know what you see. And Proko's testing us even further not to just draw the whole Pec as one, but the split between the three parts that he mentioned before. Which I'm remembering correctly by totally not looking at my cheat sheets. No, I'm cheating. The clavicular portion, the part connected to the clavicle, obviously. Sternal portion, also known as the sternocostal portion, that comes from basically the center of your rib cage, the sternum, connected to the manubrium, and then down in the abdominal region, the smallest little portion that you can kind of see poking out here, that's attached to all of this extra cartilage underneath the skin, where your abs start. So basically, all I guess I'm here to do is answer questions, and if you have no questions, I'm gonna just doodle. That's my job. And it's a much needed review for myself because it's been like, I don't know, almost over 8 years since I've seen this. I say 5 years, but that was collectively. With pockets of time, I started this in like 2016, 17. Let's say 18. 2018, I think, was when I came back, like, officially. I was like, actively trying to draw. And then 2019, 20, I kind of slowed down because life and things happened. Ugh, pandemic. And then I came back and hardcore tried to finish the course in like 2022 and onward. So 2023 is when I started streaming, but before that, there was none of this on camera. So I'm gonna review all of this stuff for you! That's all I do here. Okay. Really quickly find something in here that makes more sense. I would say start with the bones, actually, rather than the muscle. It's really easy to find the muscle. It's right there. But do you know where they attach? Do you know where they originate and insert? That question. It's much easier if you know where the rib cage is and where the humerus is and the clavicle, all of the parts that they're connected to. So let's actually do that first. So let's see what I have for old. Where did I put things before? This was my first attempt. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I didn't have the official, but that's kind of okay. So not a good example. I was just curious what this looked like. All right, I put some form of a rib cage here. I don't think this is all rib cage. He's not exhaling. Is he inhaling? No, I think he's just that ripped. He's just a big bulky guy. There is the rib cage, okay. And then what is this sitting on top of that? The pecs and then I see, some form of cartilage probably. So bone placement actually looks pretty correct, mostly. Manubrium might be a little too high. This is probably where the cutoff is, and then a little pokey sticking out right there, the xiphoid process. There's a big old sword stick that comes out of your rib cage in the front. I miss that. And this rib cage is lacking form. It's just an egg. A very good egg, mind you. Lots of good eggs. But it could be a little cleaner to look at. A humerus is a little thin. I mean, this guy is beefy and as all get out, but it's a little hard to see on so muscular types of bodies where bones sit because you just see muscle. You still need to know where the bones are. Pec placement, that looks pretty. Oh, I even gave him shading. How cool I am. Wow. Again, this is an adjusted version after I watched the critique. The first attempt, I think, was a little bit more off. I think I put it here. And without all of this, yeah, there is not much there. That pocket, all of this is pec. That shadow dip, that's pec going into the arm. And this curvature right here is lat and teres major, I want to say. I always forget the overlap of teres major and minor. There's some crazy stuff happening in your armpit, which I cannot wait to get to. I definitely need to remember that. Alright, I'm going to take another bite of pancake while we jam out to Pokemon tunes. And then we're going to get started, because this will probably be shorter today. So we're going to do all of this from the start, from the get-go, from jump. So let's find his rib cage and arm and stuff. Also, me thinking out loud here. Do I want to time myself? I don't really plan to for tracings, but we might as well. Let's see. I always forget what these breaks look like. Hang on. It's 10, 10, 20, right? 10, 10, no, 10, 20, 10. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. It'll make more sense in a second. Oh no, 10, 10, 10. I see. 5, 10, 10. That's what it is. Okay. Sorry. All right. So essentially what I'm looking at over here, if you're curious, I made a timer for myself a while back that, again, at this moment, the link is unavailable. I have it unlisted because I haven't had time to finish it, but something I was testing out is basically a timer that you can work to. So again, this is not available right now, but I'm happy to drop the link as it is unlisted, so if you have the link, you can still use it and work to it. But basically, wait for it. The timer will tell you when to go and when to stop, so we would start with 5-minute gesture. And now you would begin. Now again, this is a test run. This is obviously not real time. This is sped up footage because I was figuring it out. This is obviously cheating. So in the future, I would like to do it to the real time, and we're going to try to do that today. But because technically today is not a full-on gesture building from scratch, we're doing a tracing, I'm just trying to figure out how to time it. So this first pass, which is gesture, would be 5 minutes. Second pass is the skeleton, finding the bones underneath and the strong landmarks, the superficial landmarks that are on the front of the body. And then that's 10 minutes, and then the last section is another 10 minutes, adding muscle on top. So total it'd be a 25-minute session, around 30 minutes. With 2-minute breaks in between, to take a minute, to sit back, look at your handiwork, and then come back, and the timers will tell you. So again, if you want it, I will drop the link one more time. Lots of links, so sorry, but it is there if you want to work to it. So I might have it in the background while I work, just to keep me moving, otherwise we'll be here all day. So let's do that. And I'm going to minimize my screen. Let's have it right there. Nice. Cool. So now you can see exactly how much time is left. Alrighty. I'm gonna do, because we're not doing gesture, I'm gonna start, we're gonna basically do 10-10. So 10 minutes to find the bones underneath, 10 minutes to find the muscles on top. 20 minutes total. You'll hear a timer that'll tell you when to take a break and when to come back. If you want to do this with me live, don't worry about typing in the chat because we're going to be moving and schmoving and grooving. But after that, if you have questions, if you want me to look at your work, type !Discord and we can talk about it. All right. So without further ado, You have about 10 seconds to get ready. I'm going to set up my layers so I'm ready to go. Let me just test my brushes real quick. Real quick. I want this blue and this gray. Sharp and soft. Cool. That looks good. This is good. Yeah, alrighty. I think we're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna actually stand up because I have more range of movement when I have my legs involved. I can draw with my legs. So here we go. Standing desk, rise for me. Ooh. But I hope everyone's 2026 is going decent so far. I hope we're all doing all right. And again, we're gonna try to do 2 of these. We're gonna just do 1 for now, and if I get a mass consensus of people yelling at me to do another, I will. Otherwise, I will pick the next one we do. Hopefully 2 short babies. 2 shorties. Okay. Again, I would always suggest doing all of them, but on your own time. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna really quickly check everything. Let me know if music is too loud. Music might be a hair too loud. Let's turn it down just a smidge. Got some spring guards on. Ooh. All right. Actually, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit because I'm gonna be quieter now that I'm focused, but still enough to talk through my process so you can hear me. And mute the Persona 5 I was watching earlier. Cool. All right. If there's no questions, then without further ado, let's see. Get a quick sip of water in me before we do this. I know a ton of apprehension. Alrighty. I'm ready, because once I press start, I can't stop, so I just gotta be ready. Okay. Starting! You have 10 seconds of lead up, but it'll tell you. Here we go. 10 seconds! Get ready! Starting with the bones. Let's find this rib cage and the humerus. 2, 1. Alright, where the heck is your ribs, dude? I see it cut off right there. So let's find that. Base of rib cage is about here, because I have oblique to go off of. And because he's probably, you know, he's not breathing heavy, but he's breathing hard enough that there might be some exhalation. The ribs might be a bit more expanded here. Okay, cut off there. Scoop them back. Nice. All right. Now, let's find the top of the rib cage. The pit of the neck. That tells me a whole lot. From there, the front of the rib cage is much flatter. That'll do. Let's see. Clean that up ever so slightly. This is a definitely messier pass now that I'm moving to a timer, so it's nice and sweaty. Alright. There is the front of his neck, the pit of the neck, around there. Not the full neck girth, because a lot of that is trapezius poking out. Let's see. Front plane. All of these should converge at some point, so let's actually go a little more angled. Tracing that line. There. Alrighty, cool. Now for the back plane. Rib cage. Swing it back a hair. Nice. And your neck doesn't completely encompass that. There's a little gap in here. So let's see. His neck is about there. All of this muscle, I need to remember a lot about the neck muscles too. Forget a lot about that. So I would say there's actually a small gap in between the front and the back. You wouldn't have all this space. Would be a little bit there because there's a cutoff in the back where your spine goes. There's a big old space for a big old snake to fit. There's a tube. Your spine comes in here, and because he's twisting his head, probably the start of the spine would be there. And I should also preface, it took me at least 3 years to start to see three-dimensionally like this. I have X-ray vision now because of Proko. It's very creepy, but it takes a minute. Lumbar swings back out. I don't need to find the pelvis, but I do want to know where it is. The cutoff of oblique right there. Beautiful. Boxy, big ol' box for the hips for now. And that's where my ribs and my spine would live. Okay. Much more important things. Let's find his humerus, in fact. And actually, maybe if we have time, we can find a scapula too, because that was the previous lesson that we looked at before the break. So, I'm going to even more specify this part. Swing it back in. Not all of that is rib cage. There we go. Let's see what we got so far. That's legible. That's mostly rib cage. You can understand that's rib cage. Okay. Tracing the clavicle, the coup de grace. Lock it down. Can't touch it now. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna make this even lighter. Let's make that 55 just like below. Okay. Clavicle! Where are you, honey? It's right there. I can see it. I can smell it. Pec starts right on top of it. Pec is actually raising over it, so it's not as high as you think. His arm is raised, so there is a little bit of that, but his clavicle would probably be around there. Somewhere in here, I can tell, is where that clavicle turns into scapula, because pecs have to start at the scapula. So let's say around there, the bike handlebars kind of become a little more rounded. Actually, it's not a good example. I'm tracing the muscle, that's not what we do. We need to find, yeah, there we go. It's a little raised, a little raised. All this grain is actually making it harder to see my brush. Sonic, you're doing a great job. Thank you, buddy. Keep it up. I don't think we stay in Sonic Land, though. I think we're about to shift to something else. Let me get a smaller brush so you can see a little bit more of what I see. Awesome. Oh, good song. It's Mario Galaxy time. Alright, from there, I'm going to say that's the end of the clavicle, and from there, a step down gives us some acromion process. There's a little step down, a little step touch, if you will, and that becomes scapula. Curve it around the rib cage. Everything's connected. Spine of the scapula continues down to that edge, and right around here is where humerus should be. Big old ball for the ball and socket joint. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer, aren't I? Oh, I sure am. Oh, I love when I do that. Let's try that again. Glad I realized that would have sucked. Cool, there we go. We got 3 minutes to spare. I'm just focusing on this arm right now. Know that there's a little pokey hole for some protection of ball and socket joint. That's the glenoid process coming in to protect that beautiful area, because it's very, very, very tender in there. Alright. Now let's find at least the bridge of the humerus. Where does it end? Humerus ends right there. Elba. Can't miss it. And it continues all the way through. We're not worrying about the arm right now. I just wanted to find the edge of it. Foreshortened because it's coming at us ever so slightly. So it would be a little bit wider at the base. Cool. Maybe not that much, but a little bit. Alright, from there, continuing that thought, because the ball and socket joint, it's rounded at the edge. There's a little bit of a ridge right here where bicep starts. It's going that way, so I'm going to say about there. It'll make more sense when we get to it. We'll take a look at this later after we finish. Again, I hope you're doing this with me, so you shouldn't be looking at the screen right now unless you're watching. How much time we got? We got about 2.5 minutes left. Where's the angle of the humerus? It's going this way. And I can tell based on the elbow's positioning. Let's see. Ulna is the edge of the elbow. So that also tells me... No, that's not correct. I think... Ooh, proportion is going to be interesting. It's going this way. Yeah, that looks more accurate. Side of the humerus isn't actually going to be right up against it. So glad we're doing this because I need this practice too. Ooh, I need this practice. Ooh, I need this practice. I can't wait to get to the arm again. Oh, and again, by golly, chat, you don't have to time yourself. I'm doing it as a challenge. Alrighty. There is most of my humerus. I think I didn't leave enough space, but enough to basically see it. Know that it starts out rounded and grows boxier at the base. 1 minute left. Where's the forearm? There we go. There we go, there we go. Okay, I'm starting to see it. It's a little hard to read because I'm figuring it out live, but I think I found it. Kind of. It's a little messy. Again, the job is not to get a perfect humerus, but can you see the bone structure underneath it? Most of it is there. Let's clean up what we can. Clavicle. I could see it a little better. Let's find the other one. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1. Time, hands up. Let's see what we got, yeah? We got about 2 minutes to check our work. That is a very, very, very rough and dirty humerus. I'm not proud of it, but I feel like we got something kind of legible in there. Kind of. I would also suggest, time to reset your eyes. Look away from the screen for a second. Come back with fresh eyes. Come back with fresh ojos, ojos. Look at something far away for a little bit. Now is the time to look at something 20 feet away from you for 20 seconds. Every 20 minutes. I can talk about you if you want. But I'm not. You're busted? I'm streaming. I'm sorry to hear that though. Mom is busted apparently. Didn't we say we were going to take a break? 1 minute left. She's so close, guys. Oh my god, I got syrup all over me. Woman, I can't tell you what to do, but your body will. Yes. Here, are you listening to it? Now I am. Okay. Alright, coming back. Now is the time to either make a gentle adjustments or pause and take a longer break to look at things. I already know that humerus is not correct. I might come back at it with another pass, but for the first rough pass, the ribcage looks like it's correct, mostly. And now we can start to analyze where we're going to put the muscles. So, I'm going to get my stuff ready. This is bones. Let's make a layer for muscle. The bread and butter of why we're here. Take a deep breath, take some water in your body. Alright, this should be easy, because they're right there. You can't miss it. Muscles are very easy to see. Okay. I'm gonna put these also on multiply. Alrighty. I'm gonna get my deep red. Let's go red. Alright. And I'm also gonna do really quickly something here. That looks better. My brush isn't normally that textured. Okay. Yeah. Let's get some muscles in here, yeah? let's see. First and foremost, big boy, Avi. Oh, I did draw a little bit on him. Oh well, can't help it. I was too excited. Alrighty. Well, that's alright. For the most part, I have the picture. We can always put it back. Alright. Where does the pec start? I'm gonna hide my bones for a second. We'll see if they line up. I see a beautiful division of pec right around there. Big old cutoff right there. As always, there's a little triangle base for it. You can even kind of see where there's a little differentiation of where it starts and ends. Nice. Pec goes all the way down. Follow that curve of rib cage. And there's a little bit of it peeking out right there. A little bit. Okay. Nice. I don't remember exactly, but I think this is aponeurosis and ab here. So I'm gonna add another color for, what can I spell this? First try. Probably not correct, but that's okay. Alright, give me that gray. Let's say right here is aponeurosis. That probably feels good. This is tendon, where the abs start, basically, not pec. As well as the cutoff from where bone is from muscle. There's probably a little bit of a division there. Where'd I put the bones? I put it here. Yeah, that feels good. Also forgot xiphoid process is right there. There's a little pokey sword. Right on top of the rib cage. Beautiful. Yep. Okay. We'll color it in later. For now, I'm taking too long. Let's move on. I'm dawdling. Don't dawdle. Obvious shapes, obviously. Can't miss them. Let's put them down. Trace that whole line from clavicle to pec. This is all sitting on top of your clavicle. Alright, clavicular portion. Now here's where we did the hard work already of finding the bones. Where does this clavicular portion come from? It sits on the clavicle, Avi. So it's going to be covering all of this. And it's starting right at the peak, I think. I believe. Yes, right at the edge. So it's so thick because he's so packed and muscular. All of this is the first portion. Beautiful. And that would go into the deltoid right around there. I'll make it easier to see in a moment. But just trace that beautiful line right there. Might actually have too much texture on here. Yeah, that's easier to see. He's so stacked. He's so stacked. And, in fact, my humerus, I have it down here. But I'm looking at the muscle now. That may not line up. Oh, no, it does. It's actually lower than what I said it. So, no, I think I'm correct. But I think this might be a little too high. Let's have that division come a little lower. I see you. Right there is where it would insert. Connect that. Beautiful. Alright. From there, let's do the other side. Same thing. Hide my bones. There it is. I can kind of see the cutoff right there. It's a little bit harder to see on this guy because he's not flexing on that side, but just know that it goes over to that direction. And there's a lot more clavicle that I didn't even capture. All of this actually starts here and it rounds over, it covers it up. So it's about there. Trace that. This is only on clavicle. I have it starting on the sternum. That's not right. It sits on top of the clavicle. Okay. We spent too much time messing around. Oh, some mother's watching TV in the other room. Let me know if that's too loud. Okay, big boy right here is all sternal portion. That comes right in the middle. All of this, because it's flexed, his arm is working hard. You can see a lot of that tension in the corner. This is all in there. And that actually, I think, shows, because it crosses right over the nipple. Let's say there, yeah. This little cutoff right here, that juicy little portion that snakes down, that might be our abdominal portion. I believe, let me hide this. It starts there. Yeah. I see you. This is abdominal. Look for possible double curves. That's right. This is such good homework for me. I needed to remember a lot of this. I forgot so much. Okay. This might be a little bit more of a pinch than I think. Let's say about there. Follow the line. Okay. Muscle fibers follow that though. Okay, other side. You probably are in the same pocket. Abdominal portion. Where are you hiding? I see you. Right here. Right hizity. I'm gonna close the door. It's a little loud. Okay. Last but not least, I want to color in what we can, where we find it. Okay. It's a little harder to see, but I think we got most of the important stuff. So now, where does it all connect? Let's see. This is definitely going to be a rougher, more unclean version than the first one because I sat and had time to do it. This is now on a clock, so we are against the clock here. We're racing to the finish. That looks good. That's the first portion. Second portion comes a little higher than that because it connects a little higher. Third portion connects the highest. It's a big old twisty fan. There we go. Make sure you can see that twist. It's all bundled up because it's a bunch of tangled muscles. It's beautiful. Okay, 2 minutes about. Let's color in some of this, yeah? And then we'll compare notes later. I'm gonna even say this starts a little lower because it's still on the sternum. We'll compare notes later. This is definitely one of those lessons I needed to revisit on. I don't think that's correct. I can't wait to find out how wrong I am. Color! Bone and tendon. Oh, you're on multiply. No, I don't want you on multiply. Oh, 1 minute. Eek! We're not gonna finish, but we want to get close. Okay. Then muscle. Let's just lay it in. We can differentiate color to it later. You recognize the earthbound snowman? Alright. There's a rough and dirty pair of pecs. First attempt out the gate. It's legible, mostly. Yeah. We hit his nipples, but they're there. Okay. And that would normally be the end of one session. We skipped about 5 minutes of it, obviously, because we didn't do the gesture, but that feels pretty decent. Okay, let's compare notes then, shall we? Where was I off? I know I was. Let's see, round 1. Okay, I had things a little too close to the edge of the pocket. Muscle actually ends here. Most of this is mostly right. Oh no. I put aponeurosis too high. Interesting, okay. Again, first attempt back. No one said I was perfect. I'm learning with you guys. Oh, Peck is... Okay. I'm gonna need to see Proko's version, because I put it down here. I feel like the arm is a little lower. It's right in the middle. Because I have so much more information than I used to now. Since I finally finished the body, I can officially look at this now and say, wait a minute. Elbow's down here. Bicep sits right on top of the bone, so that fits and would continue to attach to part of the ulna in the forearm up here. Where did I have the bone before? Now I already know that's too low, because this bicep would be pushed way higher. That doesn't work. Orientation is correct, but not the angle of this humerus. I think I actually was closer there. I don't know, I'll have to check the review. Not spot on, nothing ever is, but I feel like I was closer. Rib cage looks pretty close 1-to-1. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Rib cage is very different than what I had, which is good. It should be. As clean as this egg looks, it's not correct. Okay. Interesting note comparison. I feel good about that. All right. I would say I want to make adjustments, but I don't know enough. I don't remember enough to do that, so I'm not going to yet. We'll look at Proko's version after we finish our second attempt. Not second attempt here, but basically another tracing. We're going to do another one. And then I'll clean up after I look at it. And that'll be a stream. So let's see. Number 2. Anybody pick yet? If nobody votes, I'm going to pick 3. Oh no, it was just me. We got 2 votes though. Somebody else voted for the same one I picked. Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't see any other votes, and we need to do one more. This one's real obvious. Let's look at these close up. Where is it? Yeah. Let's see. Which is harder? Because I can very easily see where each section comes from in here. This very specific, I can't remember the word, division of muscle right there. It's very clean. You can clearly see where the ab portion and the pectoral portion split there. This one might be harder. And he's like peacocking? He's like pigeoning. So I'm gonna vote for this guy. But if there's anything people specifically want me to look at, let me know. Okay. Other than that, let's move on. Let's do this guy again. I'm sorry. I'm really happy with how clean I did this version, but I'm about to stomp all over it if it doesn't work. We're gonna try it again. So let's see. Version 1, goodbye. Let's get a nice deep up close look. Version 2, let's try. I'm gonna set this to multiply. I'm gonna make a bone muscle layer. Come on. Muscle. Nope. Save. Okay. Ooh, yeah, this is definitely going to be a harder challenge, because I can very clearly see where clavicular and sternal portion are, but the split off of that, it's not as obvious on here. Ooh, but you can see, you see that split? It's beautiful. That split, I believe, if I'm correct, Proko confirmed for me. There is another split of muscle fiber in the sternocleidomanubrial joint. Ew. Okay, basically, the sternal part can look like 2 different parts. This, though, okay, we're going to trace it now. I see. Okay. I'm so glad I'm doing this again. Oh, I'm so glad. Because let me confirm my thoughts. Yeah, that's what I saw the first time, but I'm actually going to veto that and think again about it. I believe we might actually have something different than what I traced. Yeah. I want to say this is all ab portion right here that gets cut off. I always think the ab portion is much lower than it actually is. Sternal portion only starts at the sternum. So I'm going to say probably all of this is sternum. Oblique comes in here and that double curve is where it splits. I think that's what it is. So let's trace it. Let's figure it out. I'm going to do one more eye reset and look away from the camera, as well as reset my timer. Let's go in to our timer one more time. Okay. I'm going to set it up so we have about a minute left. Reset your eyes. Go get water if you need to. Ding, ding, ding. That's 1 minute remaining. And we'll come back in about 20 seconds to do this gentleman. Lock it down. I'm ready. Save, Boba. Alrighty. Be right back. Seconds. Also, I totally forgot. I said I would record. I didn't do that. Let's do that. Maybe this version will be cleaner. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Second attempt. Let's do it. Woo! Alrighty. Bone time. Let's find these bones real quick. I said I locked it. There we go. Now it's locked. Where's my rib cage? Boom. There's the pit. Boom, there's the pit of the neck. Back of the neck. I'm going to actually turn this lower. Here's the entire width of the neck. You see that division? That's all of that juicy, delicious trapezius. None of this is neck. None! So our neck actually ends right about there. It doesn't go all the way to the back because there's some split where our spine sits. Cool. I'm going to say, because he's dead facing on, rib cage. Well, actually, my circle comes lower. No, it's right here, right at the pit. Something like that. Something like that. Your rib cage doesn't change, but your clavicles can. So they have to sit in front of the rib cage somewhere. There we go. That looks better. All right. From there, find out where the rib cage is. Something like that. I'm gonna say right around there. It's always kind of hard to tell on buff guys like this where your rib cage sits. Just know that the cutoff usually is where muscles change. That usually tells me something. It's not always clear though. Gonna leave a little space for ribcage in the back. Ribcage is pretty superficial, so as buff as this guy is, there might be some ab poking on top. Pretty sure it's rounded. Let's connect our notes at the back. Behind his face, it's a little scary back there. There we go. It leaves some room for the edge of the spine. Head comes in there. Find the back of the spine. And then his pelvis would be somewhere there. We don't really need to know that, but it's still always good to find it. It's just extra practice. Follow that rounded form to the back. I'm gonna say it's about there. It's probably a little off, but that might be a good start. Okay. Comparing notes. Yeah. There is my ribcage. Okay. Not fact proven, just a guess. Oh, this is nice. Alright. Where the heck is my clavicle? I see it. His arms are raised, so it's going to be more obvious. Clavicle. Can't miss it. They're not going to one-to-one line up because they're raised. So actually, divination of bone right there. Where this split of deltoid lives is usually where ribcage and clavicle connect. They're a little higher because he's raising his arms like a monkey. He's excited, he's ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Let's trace that. I'm gonna say right now, clavicles are really hard to find on guys like him because they're hidden. You won't be able to find them. Not very well. Actually, I can't see it now. They're a little lower than where I had them. Getting lost in the weeds. Let's move on. We already lost half our time. There we go. That looks a little cleaner. It bothers me if they're not somewhat legible. Oh, I got an itch on my eye. But I don't have time to scratch it. Oh, we gotta go. Alright, something like that. Okay, what else do we need to know? Clavicle becomes part of the acromion process right about there. There's a bit of scapula that comes, it would go down there. All of this scapula is raised because he is raising his arm. It would be coming out always forget how to draw scapulas. That looks right. Something like that. Part of it pokes through to protect the front glenoid process. Oh, the best song in Donkey Kong Country. Oh, I love some Sticker Brush Symphony. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, bone. I sense bone there. Big humerus for big boy. And let's come to the other side to find the other one. It's pretty much symmetrical, but still, it's a little bit more on the right side than the left. Step down for acromion process. A little bit of rib, scapula, spine comes down there. I'm gonna say about the same place. Let's just get the general position of it. We'll finalize things later. And it's not always good to rush. A lot of times we want to rush to get as much as we can on the paper, but if your rushing is incorrect, there's not much point, right? You want to rush accurate. So sometimes it helps to slow down until you have all the pieces you want lined up correctly. This also is where the traps would sit in the front pocket. Traps come down. Especially now considering that the traps come in to sit right on top of the clavicle. Let's see. Alright. Humerus, where are you at? Let's get it pointing in the right direction. Can't really mess this one up. It's just straight. It's just a straight line. So let's say about there. What I do want to know is the rotation of the humerus. How do I know? The bicep is going downward. It's kind of sitting on top, but the front of it, let's say around there. Is this foreshortened? Maybe a little bit. The left one might be. Okay. And this one is coming down because the bicep sits right on top of the front. So I can usually use that to angle wherever the front of it is. You'll find out when we get to the arm lesson, but there is a small little ridge that pops out on your humerus. Uh-oh, one of my cats is in trouble. Break up the monotony of the boring anatomy. I'm sure you all enjoy it. This one, because the bicep is going that way. Bicep's right there, it sits right on top of it. Bicep is also right there, so it's going to be probably close. Probably not as obvious here, foreshortened wise. There we go. I'm not even going to try to find the elbow and all that right now. Let's just worry about finding the base of everything. Okay, last final touch. Let's clean up a little bit. Hands down. Okay, what have we got? 2 minutes to analyze and walk away and reset our eyes. Monkey! What's in the front and what's behind? Let's figure that out real quick. This is behind. Scapula's in behind. This is in front. Glenoid process comes in front of the clavicle, I believe. That's behind, because that's scapula. And then the ribcage is on its own layer. Yes. All of that is fine. I'm gonna lower that opacity a hair. 70 is fine. Good to work in a software that's nice and comfy, cozy, so you can work quickly, whether working on paper is better for you or digital. Oh dear, sounds like dinner time's about to start. The cat's getting agedy. Alrighty, we're almost done. I might have to go soon, because cats are biting. I gotta feed the children. Okay. About 50 seconds remain till we come back. I'm gonna reset my eyes real quick. You'll get a ding for the last 10 seconds to get ready. And let's find the bones let's find the muscles. In fact, I'm gonna raise the opacity on my guy a little more because I can't quite see. There we go. Alright, 20 seconds to reset my eyes. Son, whatever you're doing, stop it! No, don't come in here with all that. No. Here comes my troublemaker son. No. Alright, son's here. He's gonna wreak havoc. Guess what? We have to worry about him now while I draw. So if you hear a cat meowing in the background, I'm not sorry. Alright, here we go. Back in the fray. I don't have time, bub. Clock is ticking. I gotta go. No. No. Alright. Very even split right around here. It's good to add some irregularity. It just makes it look more interesting. But know that the pecs do not always touch. In this one instance, it looks like they are, but they usually don't. Okay. Multiply, please. Pec sits. Now I have to close my door. Alright. Let's see. Pec ends about there. It's about the first third of the humerus. So all of this, trace that contour. And that tells me where things are. Clavicular portion, all of this. Clavicle. It's thick, but it's very, very, very thin. So it's malleable. I just said an oxymoron. It is thick, but it's the thinnest part of the pec. Actually, no, I think that's the abdominal portion. I'm sorry, I was wrong. The clavicular portion is the thickest part. Sorry, I lied to you yet again. Ooh, Celeste. Don't mind if I do. Some B-side music energy, thank you. Alright. Now we can play with that gesture. Know that it starts the highest but ends the lowest on the range of the arm. So I'm actually going to end it like right there. Full pec would probably go from this range all the way to the head of the humerus. Okay, let's find it on the other side. I'm going to flip him around. Same thing about cut off about right there. I'm going to trace all of that. Actually, now that I look at it, this cutoff might tell me, no, I was right. I was right. Because I forgot. We made a discovery last time. I went Southern Belle all of a sudden. That tells me exactly what I'm looking at. Okay. Muscle fibers going that direction, that direction, that direction. Okay. Now, all of this, sternal man. Alright, so here's the thing. Hide for just a second, hide these bones. I think this is all sternal portion, even though there's a split right there. There is a reason for that. Proko dives more into it into the premium lesson, so I can't exactly tell you why. But I'm going to just go with the impetus for now, that this is all sternal portion. That little cutoff right there, I'm going to guess, is sternal portion. Maybe I can get into a little bit of it why, but after I finish. It's very satisfying to find that pit, that armpit. Ooh, I love it. Alright, following that, just know that your muscle fibers are going in the same direction all along this line. I don't have time to trace all those, but you know it's there. Same thing. I think this is also sternal portion, and then a double curve for extra sternal portion. I will tell you why later, I promise. I want to be completely sure, though. I don't want to lie to you guys. Okay, cool. I'll say this beautiful line right there. Yep, just know that they all bunch into that little bundle right there. There's a bunch of muscles congealed in there. Nice. Alright. I'm gonna hide that because we don't need that. Alright. Abdominal portion. Where's my aponeurosis? Work quickly and succinctly. I'm going to say all of this, the base of the rib cage, and now I can put my bones back. Oh, I have it lower than I need to. But you know what? No, I'm going to follow that because I'm pretty sure that is muscle tendon, not bone. It doesn't have to be right on top of it because bones don't move, but tendons do. They sure do. So that looks better. That's where my rib cage would end, and also where the abs would begin. And the children can come out and play. Alright, from there, that's where everything connects. Nice. Oops. Alright. Abdominal portion is by far the hardest to see, especially when the arms are raised, so you really just gotta trace the base of it. All of this is attached to a fine, small, thin tendon. So it may not always be visible, but it is there. Just wherever you see abs, it's right above that. 8-pack. I always forget if this is abs and this is pec. This is definitely, for me, I think one of the hardest sections I forgot the most about. Ooh, I forgot a lot here. Let's see. There's where it ends. I'm gonna adjust that so it's a little bit more obvious here. There's that cutoff. Maybe a little bit of pec can sneak out there. And then that nice soft border for that fat pad where there's usually some section that can't quite see. Cut it off there. Awesome. All right. We have at least a little more time than I thought to decorate. Sternal portion and abdominal portion. Let's get that in there. All right. I think we can start to decorate with color. Might actually have more time in here than I thought. This is not perfect. Nothing ever is. But let's get a color in here. Alright, I'm gonna go purple and green for now. And then a nice, what did I color it before? Purple, green, and what? First pass. Green, blue, and purple, okay. So we'll just keep it that. Was it that light green? No, that hideous light green. Okay. We'll do the same thing. Green, blue, purple. Okay. So we're now sternal portion. More Donkey Kong. Because why not? Multiple covers of the same song is never a bad thing. Still haven't seen the rest of that game. DK Bonanza seems like a fun time. I just dated myself. Now you know when this came out. If you didn't look at the date already. Alright. Sternal portion. Blue. Big point. Big boy. One minute remaining. Eek! Híjole. Here's the tricky part. Don't forget, it comes back up here too. Don't forget that little detail. Sneaks up there. Much better take than the first one. Much happier with this version. And last but not least, we got 1 minute to get the abdominal portion in. Color that purple. 20 seconds. Can she do it? Can she do it? I believe. Do you believe in the crystal that believes in you? Oh, it's gonna be tight. It's a race against the clock. 10 seconds. Woo! We just made it. Hands up. Bam, baby. I feel good about that. Hell yeah. Alright. Well, I think that, not as a stream, but let's come back in and analyze. Besides the fact that I didn't get this little corner up here, right there, and a little bit of white for aponeurosis. I set this to multiply. No, I didn't. Why can't I see my color? Oh, it is on multiply, you stupid. My bad. Oh, God. No, let's keep that multiply. That's scary. Okay. But this is now... No. Still the same problem. Okay, fine. I'll make another layer. That makes it easier, actually. There we go. Alright, just a quick adjustment to let you know where that tendon sits. All of that, I believe this is all ab tendon. Most of it. Even a little reflected light kind of is nice. Okay. So now the fun begins. Comparing note time. Where was I accurate and where was I off? Because basically what I had finished with was Proko's, at least my, at the moment, adjusted edits to be accurate. So what do we have? I mean, the first one obviously is nicer to look at. But I'm looking at this, again, the same issue, which is hilarious to me because I didn't know anything about the arms yet. And now I have forethought. I have forward knowledge. I say the humerus is right here. But Pasquiana saith that it's right here. Let's see, is that accurate? This is absolutely not right. If forearm, if it started up there, nah, it's way too high. You gotta have this and this to sit on. There's gotta be some kind of bone for this to sit on. So no, bicep basically frames your humerus perfectly. If you extend your arm, there's a big old squishy thing sitting on top. It's like a pillow. It needs a bed frame to sit on. So I don't think that's right. This might be closer, but I'm gonna say mine is accurate. This is just prettier gesture because I spent longer on it. And there is a little somewhat differentiation space between muscle here because this is all stuck to the sternum. The ab portion can be a little further apart. So I'm happy with my version. Of course, the nicer version is the first one because it's cleaner. But I feel alright about that. Again, this was a test. Nothing has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to be accurate. Alright. Well, chat, without further ado, I'm gonna say that's a stream. Unless anyone has any questions for me. Thank you so much for joining me, I guess, this evening. We spent a little bit less time today, but tracings are usually faster. And next time, when we come back, we're going to be able to do the skelly pose, which is basically invented muscle sitting on top, which is this. So we'll come back and do all of that next time. And then finally, the last one is finales, the ladies, which is just going to be gestures, and by far the hardest but most rewarding part of the process for the pecs. Pecs still sit on ladies, they're just covered up by a bunch of breast tissue. Alright, so again, thank you so much for joining me. If anything, if you have questions, again, Discord exists, you just gotta look for it. It's in the description somewhere probably. I believe. It may not be. Sorry if it's not. I usually only leave it accessible to people in the chat. But anyway, PLD, keep playing, keep loving, and keep dreaming. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, CK out. Peace.